Sean, you sent out a pretty powerful tweet yesterday talking about some of the things that need to get done. You want to elaborate on that for us?
Yeah, look, you mentioned I'm in New York. I'm spending quality time with you before I head back to the Commonwealth. Um, but the election you talked about being in Virginia Beach, we have an opportunity to hold the House of Delegates, take back the state Senate. But I think if you are anywhere in the Commonwealth, you can see that Democrats are running cookie cutter ads on abortion. They're doubling down. Every single one of them is running almost the identical same ad. They're on offense. They're accusing Republicans. But look, I make the point yesterday, Republicans should be the ones on offense. Republicans did that in 2021. That's how Glenn Youngkin and Winston Sears and Jason Miyares, they were on offense on education and economic issues. And right now, if you think about what former Governor Ralph Northam, who is a medical doctor, said about abortion, that we wait till the baby comes out, we make sure it's taken care of and warm, and then we make a decision if we resuscitate it. That's not abortion, that's murder. And Republicans should be reminding the voters in the Commonwealth that it's Democrats that have the extreme position on abortion. They're willing to allow abortion up to and after birth to decide what to do with a human life. And I don't think that Republicans are taking advantage of the situation at all throughout the Commonwealth. And the point of what I put out yesterday was to say, hey, you guys, we had a great playbook in 2021, huge success with our governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general, because we were on offense. So use the same playbook on this issue. Go on offense, and don't let the Democrats define our position.
Are we going to be able to do that?
Well, look, like I said, I live in Northern Virginia, John. You obviously spend a lot of time on the bus, in the RV rather, getting around the Commonwealth, seeing what's happening. But I'm telling you, I don't have a lot of hope based on what I'm seeing on some of the ads. Now, does that mean everything? No, I've been doing campaigns for 30 years. Yard signs and ads don't win races. But at the end of the day, what I am troubled by is the response by the Republicans. I feel like in many cases, Republicans are curled up in the fetal position, taking the whack on this ad and then trying to figure it out. Like I said, we have a huge opportunity. I would be taking a 2x4 to their issue and saying, really, you want to talk about extreme? This is what the position of their party is. And it's not just, you saw Senator Tran introduce legislation in the Senate that she had to walk back. But we have plenty of ammunition in this fight, and I don't see Republicans using it.
Yeah, Sean Spicer, you're 100% correct. That's why when I got your tweet, I asked you to come on today, because we've been saying the same thing. We've been traveling around Virginia on our bus tour. By the way, go to vabusstore.com, see where we are today with Kevin Adams in Virginia Beach, vabusstore.com. We've been traveling around. Obviously, you go to different places. All the ads are negative. All the ads are coming from the Dems. All of them are the same issue, abortion, and we have no response. And so we're playing defense. And when you play defense, you're going to lose. There's no offensive counterattack by anybody except for maybe Siobhan Tunavant in Henrico, who's probably articulating this better than anybody. But other than that, you're right. Fetal position, fear, afraid, don't want to talk about it. Well, and that's how you lose. And we're getting outspent by a tremendous margin as well. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, look, if I were, when I've been doing campaigns, you do an analysis, your candidate's strengths and weaknesses and your opponents. If, for example, you look at the Biden administration right now, their foreign policy is a disaster, domestic policy is a disaster with the open borders, fentanyl coming in, interest rates through the roof. So that's a tough one to defend. But at the end of the day, as I said, and this is the key, we have offensive tools that we should be and are not using. There's a difference. Sometimes you're in a box in a campaign, and because your candidate has said something or voted a certain way, and you have to figure out, how do I get out of this? In our case, as Republicans in the Commonwealth of Virginia, we can just literally point to the last governor, to the state senators, and say they're the ones who have proposed the following. And this is why, but I don't see a single one except, Kim Taylor, who did a great job winning in a Democratic district, and I point her out in this op-ed that I wrote. She at least understood that she could pivot and talk about the circumstances, the economic environment that we can be creating in Virginia to not force women into this position. And again, we have a lot to talk about. Governor Youngkin's done a great job focusing on education and jobs, and so many issues has been on offense. Why are we not doing this on this issue?
And why are we talking about crime? right? I mean, that's
Well,
now
some
becoming a major issue in the United States. Why aren't the Republicans here talking about crime?
Well, some of them are. I've seen some of the ads. Juan Pablo Segura up in my neck of the woods is got some ads on about it. But again, I think we should be taking all of these issues. You're absolutely right, John. What crime is an issue that the Dems have a hard time defending after BLM and to defund the police movement, and considering how difficult it is to walk in, or scary it is to walk in some neighborhoods and cities, I would be going on offense completely on that. But again, we're on defense and coddling in so many areas that I'm concerned, because if Governor Youngkin wants to enact a true legislative agenda that's not only pro-life, but continue the economic reforms and helping families who have, who are facing school boards and other issues where parents' rights are being taken away, then we need a Republican state Senate and a Republican House of Delegates. You got to hold that House of Delegates. It's a slim majority, and we have enough seats in play to take back the state Senate.
All right, I'm going to ask you something else. Another thing we're fighting. I've got my friend Matt Strickland, who we endorsed and worked hard for, not discouraging a write-in campaign. That might sink the Republican there. Makes no sense. Talk to him about it. His view is she's a liberal anyway. It doesn't matter. I get it. I've got people on our side that you know very well that are suggesting that Virginians that MAGA voters in Virginia stay home so that we don't win the Senate, so that Youngkin doesn't get a win, so he can't run for president in 24. I happen to think that is the most asinine, insane piece of strategy I've ever seen in doing this for 40 years. Not voting. Where'd that get us in Georgia? It got us into the disaster we have now. What message did that send? All you did was embolden the communists. What is your position on that?
Well, I mean, you bring up Georgia. Let's start with that. That's a great example. We wouldn't be dealing with half the Biden nominees if we had won Georgia, because we would have had a Senate that could have blocked these folks. So, look, at the end of the day, I'm not worried about the presidential at this point. I feel very confident in President Trump's ability. You know, his poll numbers, you saw just the other day, all the swing states he's leading in Biden. He's got a 40-point lead on everyone else. The math would be extremely difficult for Governor Youngkin in terms of filing. Let's worry about the Commonwealth. This is where we all have to live and vote for the next, 5, 10, 20 years.